Have you ever wondered why, despite working hard every day, some people seem to accumulate wealth effortlessly while others stay stuck in the same financial rut? The truth is, the biggest obstacle between you and real wealth isn't the economy, your job, or even luck. It's certain habits and mindsets that are silently sabotaging your success. If you want to get rich, the first thing you need to do is stop doing these things that keep you poor. Yes, I said it. You have to stop, because no amount of hustle can compensate for actions that destroy your financial future. Here's the harsh truth. Spending more than you earn, procrastinating on opportunities, and waiting for the perfect time to start. These are the silent killers of wealth. Every day you delay investing in yourself or your ideas, you lose a chance to grow. Every unnecessary expense, every impulse purchase is money that could have been working for you, compounding quietly while you sleep. The rich understand this. They know that money is not just something to spend, it's a tool to build freedom, security, and opportunities. Another thing you need to stop immediately is following the crowd blindly. Most people settle for the safety of a 9-to-5, dreaming of promotions, waiting for approval, or trying to fit into someone else's definition of success. But here's the hook. Real wealth comes from creating, innovating, and thinking differently. It comes from taking calculated risks, from learning constantly, from turning small opportunities into massive wins. If you continue to mimic others and fear failure, you'll always be trapped in the endless cycle of mediocrity. And here's the biggest trap many fall into, believing that time alone will make them rich. Waiting for luck, waiting for a mentor, waiting for the market to turn. This is nothing but delayed action disguised as patience. The truth is, action breeds momentum. Even small, consistent steps toward financial growth compound faster than waiting for the perfect moment. Every day you hesitate, someone else is grabbing the opportunities that could have been yours. So if you truly want to get rich, start today by stopping the habits that keep you poor. Stop making excuses, stop living in comfort zones, stop prioritizing short-term pleasure over long-term wealth. Replace these behaviors with discipline, focus, and a hunger for learning. Remember, wealth isn't just about money, it's about mindset. The moment you recognize what's holding you back and take action to stop it, you unlock doors that most people don't even know exist. Do you realize that the moment you spend more than you earn, you are planting the seeds of your own financial struggle? Most people think that wealth is about making more money, but that's a trap. The real power lies not in earning, but in controlling what you already have. Every impulsive purchase, every unnecessary expense, every swipe of your card that isn't adding value to your future is quietly chaining you to mediocrity. You might be earning thousands, even tens of thousands, but if you spend faster than you make, your dreams of financial freedom remain just that, dreams. Imagine this. Someone who earns half of what you earn, but manages every dollar wisely, will always outperform you in the long run. That is the reality most people refuse to face. Wealth is more about what you keep than what you make. It's about making your money work for you rather than letting it slip through your fingers. Think about it. Every dollar you save, every investment you make, every decision to live below your means is like planting a tiny seed that over time grows into something massive. And the people who understand this secret, those who stop the endless cycle of spending, are the ones who build wealth quietly while others are distracted chasing temporary satisfaction. Most people spend without thinking. They see something shiny, something that gives them a rush, and they buy it immediately without asking the question, will this bring me closer to my goals, or is it a distraction? That's the trap that keeps ordinary people poor. Every impulsive decision to satisfy a short-term desire steals your future. You might feel good for a moment, but that feeling fades while the consequences linger. You are training yourself to work for temporary pleasure instead of long-term freedom, and that is the single most dangerous habit you can have if your goal is to get rich. The wealthy understand the concept of leverage, not just in business, but in life. Every dollar saved can be used to create opportunities. Money that is held, invested, or used strategically compounds silently, creating freedom that others can only dream of. It's not just about frugality, it's about purposeful action. When you spend intentionally, you are sending a message to your subconscious, I am in control. I am building my future, and the universe responds to discipline. The moment you take control of your spending, the moment you refuse to let temporary pleasure dictate your life, is the moment you step into the mindset of a wealthy person. Here's the reality. The poor and the middle class often think wealth comes from luck, inheritance, or opportunity. But the truth is far simpler. Wealth comes from control over your own money, starting with the basics. Stop the overspending. Stop the distractions. Stop comparing yourself to others and buying things to keep up. Every time you pause before a purchase and ask, does this move me closer to financial freedom? You are strengthening your future. You are teaching yourself to value delayed gratification, and that is a skill worth more than any quick payday. Think about how powerful this is. You don't need a raise, a lottery ticket, or a magical investment tip to start building wealth. You simply need to stop making choices that sabotage your financial growth. The power is in your hands. Every dollar you save, every expense you cut, every decision to invest in your future rather than temporary pleasure compounds over time. The moment you truly understand that wealth is not about how much you earn, but how wisely you manage it, your life begins to change. And the most important part, this skill is learnable. It doesn't matter where you start. What matters is the moment you decide to stop being your own worst enemy. If you want to get rich, one of the most dangerous things you can do is follow the crowd blindly. Most people spend their entire lives mimicking others, believing that doing what everyone else does will somehow guarantee success. They wake up, go to their 9-to-5 jobs, follow the same routines, and hope that wealth will magically appear. But here's a hard truth. Wealth has never been created by conformity. The people who dominate industries, the entrepreneurs who change the world, the investors who multiply their money, they all understood something that most people never will. They stopped following the crowd and they started thinking differently. Imagine this. Millions of people are chasing the same promotions, the same jobs, the same titles, all thinking that climbing the corporate ladder will make them rich. Meanwhile, the few who dare to think differently are out there creating businesses, innovating, and investing in opportunities that others can't even see. The difference isn't luck, it's mindset. The moment you realize that following the crowd only leads to average results, you start to see the world in a new way. You begin to notice opportunities where others see risk. You start to act while others hesitate. That is how wealth is built, through courage, creativity, and a refusal to settle for what everyone else accepts as normal. The trap of conformity is subtle. Society has trained you to believe that success looks a certain way, a steady job, a nice house, and a comfortable lifestyle. And while comfort is tempting, it is the enemy of extraordinary wealth. True financial freedom doesn't come from comfort zones. It comes from risk, learning, and action. The people who get rich are the ones willing to take calculated risks that scare the average person. They are the ones who invest in themselves, who spend time learning skills others ignore, who embrace failure as a teacher rather than a punishment. When you follow the crowd blindly, you never learn these lessons because you are too busy trying to fit in, too busy seeking validation, too busy fearing rejection. The world rewards creativity and initiative far more than compliance. Every industry, every market, every opportunity has gaps, inefficiencies, and problems that the majority ignore. The people who notice these gaps, who have the courage to act differently, are the ones who reap massive rewards. It's not a secret formula, it's simple psychology and action. Stop blending in. Stop seeking approval. The moment you start thinking differently, the moment you start asking yourself, what can I create that no one else is doing? You unlock doors that most people will never even approach. And it's not just about bold moves, it's about mindset every single day. Following the crowd conditions you to wait for others, to doubt yourself, and to limit your vision. Every time you mimic someone else, you train your brain to accept the average. But wealth is never average. The rich understand that they must stand alone sometimes, trust their instincts, and act decisively even when no one else understands. It takes discipline to ignore the noise, to block out opinions, and to focus on your unique path. But that discipline is what separates dreamers from achievers. If you want to be rich, you must start noticing where the crowd is wrong, where they are scared, and where they are blind to opportunity. You must develop the courage to take action while they hesitate. You must refuse to be average. The moment you stop following blindly and start leading your own journey, wealth begins to follow. It's not about being reckless. It's about being intentional, focused, and brave enough to think and act differently from the masses. Every innovation, every fortune, every breakthrough in history came from someone who refused to follow. And you can do the same if you have the courage to stop following and start creating. Waiting for the perfect time is the silent killer of dreams and the enemy of wealth. Most people convince themselves that success will come when the timing is right, when the market is favorable, when they have all the answers, or when they finally feel ready. But here's the reality, the perfect time never exists. Waiting for it is nothing more than procrastination disguised as patience. Every day you delay, opportunities are slipping through your fingers. Every moment you hesitate, someone else is acting, someone else is taking the steps that could have been yours. Wealth belongs to those who act, not to those who wait. Think about it. The richest people in the world did not sit around waiting for ideal conditions. They took imperfect action, made mistakes, adjusted, and kept moving forward. They understood that momentum is more powerful than perfection. Every action creates energy, every step builds progress, and every attempt, even if it fails, brings lessons that compound over time. Waiting for the right moment is the luxury of those who are already secure. For anyone who wants to get rich, it's a trap that keeps you trapped. The longer you wait, the more time passes, and time is one resource you can never get back. Here's the hook most people ignore. Action creates confidence, clarity, and opportunity, while waiting breeds doubt, fear, and regret. The people who get rich understand that starting imperfectly is better than never starting at all. Even if your first steps are small or flawed, they are steps forward, moving you closer to your goals. Every delay, on the other hand, magnifies self-doubt and strengthens the habit of inaction. If you keep waiting for perfect conditions, you are teaching yourself to be a lifelong prisoner of hesitation, and hesitation is fatal to wealth creation. Another trap is waiting for external validation. Many people tell themselves, I'll invest, I'll start my business, I'll take that risk once I have approval, guidance, or the market is perfect. The reality is that the world doesn't hand out perfect conditions. Opportunities rarely announce themselves. They are seized by those who are willing to act decisively, even when fear and uncertainty are present. The moment you stop relying on outside confirmation and trust yourself, you step into a mindset of action, courage, and resilience, the mindset that attracts wealth. Here's the truth. Timing is always imperfect. The market will never be perfect, your knowledge will never feel complete, and circumstances will never align perfectly. But action is always available. The rich understand that they create the perfect time by acting now. Every choice to move forward, every calculated risk, every decision to invest in yourself compounds over time. Waiting for perfect conditions is an illusion. The only time you truly control is now, and how you use it determines the life you will live. Every second spent in hesitation is momentum lost. Wealth is built by the people who start, who persist, and who adjust as they go. They fail, they learn, they pivot, and they continue, while the ones who wait continue to hope, dream, and eventually watch opportunities pass by. You don't need perfect timing, you need courage, strategy, and consistent action. The moment you act, you set events into motion. You start building experience, learning faster, and positioning yourself ahead of the crowd. Action, not waiting, is the currency of wealth. The people who achieve extraordinary success are not extraordinary because they waited. They are extraordinary because they acted when others hesitated, because they took steps into uncertainty when the majority stayed frozen in comfort. You have that same ability. Every day you choose action over waiting, you grow stronger, wiser, and closer to the wealth you deserve.